Can somebody please explain to me how I have yet to see, or let me rephrase it, how I've never seen Punch Drunk Love? Like, out of all the years I spent hanging out in movie stores, how is it nobody ever pushed me to see Punch Drunk Love? They pushed me to see The Princess Bride, Hayao Miyazaki films like Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky. I've been pushed to see films like I Know What You Did Last Summer and The Shining. But I've even got pushed to see Boogie Nights, Old Boy, but never Punch Drunk Love. Now, how is that? I was watching this tonight and I was just blown away. Adam Sandler's performance was just astonishing. And that is only the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I like Paul Thomas Anderson for the most part. I like most of his films. But this one, I just absolutely fell in love with it. It tells this great love story in the sense of these really quirky characters. And the film really shouldn't work. Like, from a storytelling perspective, how does this work? Like, your character of Barry, Adam Sandler's character, is so strange and awkward, but he's so fucking relatable. Like, you really feel for him. And somehow, Paul Thomas Anderson creates this character in which he is so relatable and you really actually care for him and you want to see him succeed. But at the same time, his awkwardness, though, and as cringy as it looks on the outside, like how his sisters always, fuck with him and always constantly make fun of him, he has a lot going on and a lot of issues. But when we are with this character, you relate, you feel this character, and this character is so well written, and Adam Sandler's performance really just drives it home that you really care for this character. Even Emily Watson's character, again, you ask yourself, like, why is she so determined to get to know him? Like, it just seems kind of strange. Even, again, and a lot of what really makes this film work is the cinematography, the score, and just the overall direction. Like, the cinematography, the way it's shot, you have, some really beautifully shot scenes, especially in which when they're on the phone, and it's kind of like muffling out, so you're having the phone conversations. You have this really delightful looking back shot with like kind of like the airwaves going through it, so it's like really bright and colorful. These airwaves going through it, and just the way it works, or just the way I'm not doing the best explanation of how it looks or describing it, so to speak. But just usually it's just very soothing and inviting, and it just fucking works. You have a lot of wide shots that just feel empty and isolated, and it really kind of helps go along with the film, in which, Barry's character, Adam Sandler's character, Barry, feels very isolated and alone, and that's why you have this wide shot. He's empty. And as the film progresses and he develops this relationship with Emily Watson's character, you have these more tight-knit shots, and they're a lot more brighter and warmer, and just kind of give an overall tone of connection. And you have this beautiful score that sometimes is subtle and other times is more vibrant and loud, but always captivates the moment in the best possible way. And I can't even begin to say how funny this fucking movie is. It is a very dramatic kind of driven film, but at the same time you have these comedic moments, some of which aren't meant to be comedic. It's just they're so intense that from a outsider looking in, they appear to be humorous and kind of funny, but it's not really meant to be funny, so to speak. Like a few scenes where Adam Sandler's character kind of loses his shit and just goes out in like a blind rage. yes, that scene's not meant to be funny, but it's funny looking from the outside looking in, just because it's not quite Happy Gilmore funny, like where he like lashes out and starts beating the shit out of people and it's funny, but he has these moments where he lashes out, and I guess because Adam Sandler and I just maybe subconsciously think of like Happy Gilmore in this over the top anger, and not that he plays it in that sense, like he plays it very straight, and he just kills it in this role. It reminds me heavily of Uncut Gems. Like, if you've seen Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, his performance in Punch Drunk Love is spot on in the sense they are two vastly different characters, but he approaches a dramatic role flawlessly and just he approaches the dramatic role full-heartedly and executes it flawlessly. And it's the ultimate cleanser to see him play a role so vastly different than he's ever played before. And again, he gives it all, and he really nails it out of the fucking park. You have Philip Seymour Hoffman in this film. And he has a brief cameo in the film, but he steals the screen when he's on it. He might have 90 seconds of screen time, and out of those 90 seconds, he steals every second of it. And it is just a joy to watch him on screen. This film, I cannot give high enough praise, and I cannot begin to say how much I love this film. I highly recommend checking this out. And if you're not a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson films, I know some of his films can be a little bit long and kind of drawn out and have a slower, dry pace. But this film is not that at all. It's very well paced. It is constantly keeping you involved and intrigued in every scene. This is probably one of my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson films. Originally, for the longest time, my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film was Boogie Nights. I think this one took the lead. Have you saw it? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let me know.